All right, let's get to it. Let's get to some tweets here. And we're just going to be going through, like, some of the things I missed, some of the things I was like, I want to... He's back! Here he is. You hear him? He's back. Motorcycle guy blasting his music. Back. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, he's fucking with me. Dude, seriously. He's like doing laps. He's doing laps in the parking. Yes, rev your engine. We get it. You got a small dick. Anyways. All right. He's gone now.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing out there? Thank you for joining. It is Film Junkie Live time. Hopefully you guys are doing great and fantastic. Make sure you guys hit that like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to be talking about some DCU stuff, some Penguin, take it easy, sweetheart. And we're going to talk about that Megalopolis, which is what everybody's calling it. And then, of course, we'll be, why not a good old trailer reaction? Anyway, hopefully you guys are doing good. Thank you for clicking in. Let's see who's out there. How we doing? We got James. What's going on, sir? Let's see. Hey, Dave, just writing a boring equity law assignment while it's listening to you. Well, hopefully I'll provide some good, stuff for your ears. Hope all is well. All is pretty well. What are your thoughts on Matt Reeves? Well, I'm going to give my thoughts eventually when it comes to all that. We got Mama Film Junkie right here. Had dinner with her last night. She made a nice little spread. That's for damn sure. It was awesome. It definitely was awesome. So good to see you, Mom. Love you. All right, we got Music Man right here. What's happening? Who else we got? Yeah, we got Ryan right here. We got the riding in a Ferrari on Sunday. That's always fun. Mr. Nobody. Hey, Dave, did you hear about the Kris Kristofferson passed away? Good old Whistler. Yeah, at the age of 88. I know. Geez, I don't even know. I don't know what's happening right now, but we're losing all kinds of legends. We lost Maggie Smith. We lost Kris Kristofferson. We lost John Ashton. And then we lost Nick. I forget his name, the basketball player. Not in my house. Lost him today. And then we just lost Pete Rose. Like, what is going on right now? I mean, I get it. I mean, they're, some of them are advanced age, but some of them are not. You'd think that they would have had a few more years to go, man. But it's been pretty crazy, and everything. What's going on, Jacob? What the fuck? Okay, cool. What's going on, Eric? Whoa, I'm guessing you're commenting on me, my opening little sketch right there. So, Music Man saying that right there. And then, of course, Mama Film Junkie has to remind everybody that it is my birthday tomorrow. Yet again. No, it's okay. Love you, Mom. But yeah, like I said, we had like a little dinner. Like I said, we had tri-tip, chicken, potatoes, cheesy bread, asparagus, and just, I don't know. I probably gained about 5 pounds last night for sure. So it was good times, definitely good times last night. What's going on? Ahoy, ahoy, Mr. Jason McKenzie. Good to see ya. We got RJ right here, too. We got Tony Movie Chappie D9L Blomkamp fan. Do you think the Warner Brothers is always a joke as the studio that loves to interfere with DC films? We'll talk about that. So we got the Watcher right here. What up? Absolute Batman in 1 week. Yep, that's very true. Yeah, for sure. All right, we got Cortez right there. Good to see you. Circle of Life. The Circle of Life. Thank you, Music Man. All right. Good to see you guys. All right. Make sure you guys are subscribed, of course. Appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. And yeah, the opening was from Anderson from Eye of Stone podcast. He posted that little video because if you guys remember last week, I don't know if it was Monday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. But one of my neighbors who rides a motorcycle, you know, a fairly loud, expensive motorcycle that he takes to and from work, apparently, which is a little interesting because I'm like, really? You're going to take that to your work? Okay, whatever. But yeah, sometimes he likes to, when he pulls in, and maybe it'll happen today, maybe it'll happen on Wednesday again, but he likes to pull in right here, very loud. He blasts his music. You know those motorcycle riders that blast their music as they're riding? Well, he likes to do that, and of course he was getting the mail because the mailbox is right there, and then it just felt like he was seriously taking laps in the apartment complex. So Anderson decided to make like a little animation right there, so that's what that the beginning was. That was him doing some, yeah, very South Parky kind of animation, and I much appreciate it. When I saw that, when he posted that, I was like, wow, that was pretty awesome. So thank you to him. So I figured I'd start off the show with that. So good times. Good times, good times. What's going on, J Fizz? What's going on? And good to see you. Yeah, I used to know a guy who drove a motorcycle. He was a good guy. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm sure the guy's probably a nice guy. It was just like, you know, but it's like you get home, you're loud, and then it was just seemed like he was going up and down, and I'm like, I know he doesn't know that I'm recording a freaking stream, so, you know, but it's just, you know, you get in the moment, you're like, Jesus, what's going on here? And it was just so loud. Not a big deal, but hey, it made that little sketch happen right there. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then, yes, there are some people, Daniel, I see you out there. Yeah, there are people that are going to, that are seeing the Joker right now. There's like, they're doing that whole Monday fan screening in IMAX kind of thing. I had no idea that was actually happening. So when Scott told me about it, I think Scott's attending his tonight. Scott told me about it when we did DC Fanimated on Wednesday, and I completely forgot. Then I looked at the closest IMAX screening that I have. It was almost completely sold out. So I was like, I'll wait till Thursday to go see Joker. I don't need to see it. I'm not in a rush to go see it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it naturally, but I was like, you know what? I don't need to see it. I'll wait for it. And plus, I had friends that wanted to go see it as well. So I got friends and family that wanted to see the movie. So it's good that I'm going to go see it Thursday. So should be interesting. Yeah, I had no clue. I don't remember seeing anything about it. And I was like, oh, wow. And then sure enough, there it was. It was like, okay, there's screenings tonight for the Joker. Sweet. Did not know. But hey, it's all good. So then we're going to see a lot more people talking about this movie that's going to be probably more divisive than the first one. That's for sure. And of course, they've released like some things, some more featurettes and everything. You know, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I've seen enough. But I get it. You know, you got to promote. And maybe I'm just not as excited about the Joker 2 as I maybe was 5 years ago when it came to the first one. So, and I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that way. Do I think the movie's going to flop? No, it's not going to make $1 billion, I don't feel. But hey, you never know. But we'll see what happens when it comes to that. So, yeah. Anyways, all right, guys. Love ya. And, yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. Spent some time with some friends on Saturday all day because I had another friend that had a birthday. And then, of course, spent time with family yesterday by going to Mama Film Junkie's house. And she cooked a fantastic dinner that was awesome. And then she got me something that I'll probably talk about it. She got me a birthday gift that maybe I'll show off on the Vodka stream this Friday. So check that out. All right, guys. Good to see you, Jay. Good to see you, The Watcher. I don't see anybody else. All right. Yeah, we're good. All right. Let's dive right into it, all right? Let's get right into some tweets right now. And, you know, we talked about it on, obviously, the trailer finally came out for the Ballerina movie starring Ana de Armas. And it was a great trailer. We actually watched the trailer because Phil hadn't seen it on the Vodka stream. So we watched the trailer. And it's a great trailer. Looking forward to it. I thought they showed a little bit too much, but we have to. One thing about the trailer that we have to appreciate it's Ana de Armas punching a punching bag. I mean, I just watched this on loop, you know, just her being badass and just like, and then I was like, oh, wow. Here I am just like totally going, hey, look at that. We got Ana de Armas back muscles and back tattoos. And I'm just kind of going like, that's a little hot. That's a little hot right there. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, when I look at a female and take in the beauty, I don't normally look at the back muscles, but hey, there's, you know, I find a little toned body sexy, and she got pretty toned for that, and I was just like, dang, look at her, look at those back muscles. And then of course she's gonna have the tats to represent all that. So what's going on, Axel? But it's just like, yeah, man, I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I was just watching that on loop when I saw that on my feed. I went like, I'm sitting here just like getting a little excited over Ana de Armas's back muscles. What the hell's going on here? Why am I getting a little, you know, geez, that's pretty hot right there. But, you know, what could he do? Oh, yeah, no, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's what I'm just trying to say right there, you know. But I just like did not have on my bingo card that I was going to, oh, crap, I just messed up. I just messed this up. Yeah, damn it. Did not have on my bingo card this year that I'd be admiring Ana de Armas's back muscles like I did, so. Anyways, sorry, I clicked out of the page. Let me get back to where I was. But yeah, it's a great trailer. Definitely a great trailer. And then, so obviously you guys know I go to the movies on Thursday. I go to the movies on Thursdays frequently. I've actually been pretty consistent for the past like few weeks. And I go to my Harkins Theater that's right over here. And it's of course attached to a mall. And there's like this new toy store kind of place, collectibles store that was kind of next to it. And I had some time and I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk in. And I walked in to this store and I was immediately greeted with, I guess you could say, if you had to nail down my personality into two superheroes, it would be these two right here. I mean, these are just like, you know, they just had these displayed right here, these cool little. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Batman and Deadpool right there. And I would probably say, like, yeah, if I had to nail down my personality, you know, the dark side of my personality, and, of course, my goofy, sarcastic side, yeah. And it was just kind of cool because there are two of my favorites. They were just, like, right there. And I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. But, yeah. It's my superhero personalities right there, I guess you could say. Batpool, yes, absolutely. What? Oh, come on. Sorry, I just got one of those fun emails from YouTube saying you can't monetize your stream. Not this stream, it was the Vodka stream. Probably because we did watch that Ballerina trailer, so I gotta fucking do that whole thing. But anyways, and then of course, hopefully you guys saw my first reaction to Megalopolis. And then of course I talked about you know, my drinking review at the beginning of the Vodka stream too. But and then of course, yes, we lost Maggie Smith. She died, may she rest in peace. She was a legend, and she died at the age of 89. So she lived a pretty full life. But you know, when you see that, you kind of just get reminded like, oh yeah, and all the roles that she had over the decades, and she was just pretty amazing. But you know, Dame Maggie Smith, she lived a pretty full life, so condolences to her family and everything. So, and then of course, okay, so what also happened last week was the fact that Batman, going back to the whole Batman thing, is the fact that he, you know, the character of Batman got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Hollywood Walk of Fame. So a lot of us were kind of going like, which one of the Batman actors is going to show up to this presentation? Who's going to show up? Who's going to show up? Michael Keaton, Robert Pattinson, maybe Ben Affleck, George Clooney, probably not. You know, it's just like, which one's going to actually show up? And sadly, none of them did. None of them did. But then I'm like, okay, well, maybe they, it was during the week and, everybody's busy and whatnot. And it's not really even like a Warner Brothers thing. It's more of a DC thing. But then at the same time, they're all linked together and everything like that. But at least, guys, at least we got some voice actors right here. So, at least we got voice actors. We got voice actors when it came to, and I don't even know, like, I can't even, like, I know Dietrich, what's his name, is right there. I always forget his last name. You guys can remind me. And, of course, our newest Batman right there. But, yeah, I mean, at least we got voice actors. And you better believe that Kevin Conroy was going to at least, if he was still alive, may he rest in peace, he would have been there. So, at least they got the voice actors there. It's just kind of funny, too, because you have somebody dressed in, like, cosplay that was there. But, yeah, it would have been cool to get, actually like a live action star there too, but at the same time I'm like, all right, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, I am going to mention a certain thing that happened at this ceremony that some people were not happy about. And by some people, I mean that certain loud side of the freaking Snyder fandom. Sadly. But, yeah. Troy Baker and Dietrich Baker. There you go. I always forget last name. I was like, Dietrich, what's his name? And then it's Troy Baker. There you go. The other two gents, I can't remember. Yeah, I know. And that's the sad part. It's like you can't remember, like, these certain names. And then, of course, the new guy, he's got, like, an interesting name. You guys know I'm bad with names. So I apologize. I should have looked him up before I even said that right there. I feel bad. But, it happens. You guys know I'm really bad with, especially remembering names. Jason O'Hara is the one from the new T-52. Okay. Jason O'Mara, not O'Hara. O'Mara. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so Absolute Batman. Absolute Batman's coming out, and of course, it's been kind of controversial when it comes to Absolute Batman, more than when it comes to the other characters that Scott Snyder's been doing when it comes to this new storyline that's going to be happening, this alternate universe when it comes to these characters. And, it's always cool when they do something fresh, and Ultimate Batman has been, a topic of controversy with the way that he looks. Like, I'm curious to see this story that's going to be coming out and what's going to be happening with it. But somebody who I've talked about frequently on here when it comes to art and trying to do like a concept art of a live action version of Absolute Batman, Felipe Ila, or Ia, I don't even know, again, going back to the fact that I don't know how to say names, he designed this right here as a concept for live action. There it is. Look at that. So you got the little wings things, because apparently this Batman right here is an engineer. It's not just some rich boy. He's not a rich boy in this version. He's an engineer. So he, of course, engineered the costume. And, of course, he's wearing the shorts. He's wearing the shorts, which, that's always going to throw it off just a little bit. But I think this is a pretty cool piece of concept art right here that really nails it when it comes to like a live action, more of a live action kind of look right here. I know some people were not really liking the spiky fat bat. I think it looks cool. I don't mind it at all, but I thought that was cool art right there. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty cool. All right. What else we got? Okay, keep tying it. Oh, man, we got our own Grace. If you guys are following Gracie cosplay, Grace, she's part of the community. She's part of the Snyder community too, and she decided, hey, you know what, Sigrid, when it comes to Twilight of the Gods, why not do some cosplay dressed as her? And she nailed it, as she does. And if you're not following Grace, she's a sweetheart. I've interacted with her a couple of times. We've actually been at some events a couple of times. We just never crossed paths. Hopefully one of these days we can actually meet, but she just absolutely freaking nailed it, as she always does with every one of her cosplays. So there she is right there. Just absolutely nailed it. Love that. Always like to show good cosplay as well. So, okay, what else we got? Let's see. Okay, so we have to show this. I have to show this. Megalopolis. I mean, obviously we're going to be talking about the box office. Yeah, the box office for Megalopolis, it's not good, and we'll get to the box office, but at the same time, like, one of the things that when you watch Megalopolis and why there's like a discourse of how are people taking it in, and I could almost pinpoint it, like, I know people, especially people I know, I'm sure that they're going to like it. I even like it to a point. It's funny because I respect the movie. Because of how outrageous it is, and it's going to be like no other movie that you've ever seen. But one of the things that I emphasized when it came to my reviews is the fact that Adam Driver he chews the scenery. He chews up this role like crazy. Adam Driver knocks it out of the park. Everybody else, maybe besides Lawrence Fishburne, I don't know, maybe one other, everybody else is so over the top, and the line delivery is so bad that I just kind of go like, I guess that's by design. I don't really like it. And then when it comes to Natalie Emmanuel, who is essentially she's second billed because she is like his muse. And of course they get together in the movie and everything like that. Coppola decided to give her an American accent. And then you have this scene right here that you could just tell.
You want to help me?
Yeah. And
So listen to this scene. So Adam Driver is eating up the screen. Natalie is doing very bad line delivery in this scene right here.
My Emersonian mind?
Entitles me?
Yes.
Entitles me?
Yes.
So bad.
Entitles me?
Yes.
So bad.
You have no idea about me. You think I am nothing? Just a socialite?
No, not nothing, but I reserve my time for people who can
But then we got this right here.
about science and literature and architecture and art. You find me cruel, selfish, and unfeeling? I am. I work without caring what happens to either of us. So go back to the club.
And that is the meme, and that is the line that defines this movie right here. Everybody has been passing around that, go back to the club, when it comes to Adam Driver, which, yes, he chews up this role, and he's fantastic. Everybody else, though, not so much.
Bear it all. And stock the kind of people that you enjoy.
Fine. I will.
See how bad that is? It's so bad.
When you have more time.
Look at this bad edit right here.
Yes.
Yes. That was such a bad edit and a weird... Ugh.
Could it be the great Caesar Catalina doesn't obey anything, not even T-symmetry?
What did you see?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like, all her lines are bad, and they're delivered bad. And then it sucks because I love her British accent. That's all I don't think I've ever heard her do an American accent, so it's just off. And then, of course, you have Lawrence Fishburne right there, and he's kind of like partially a narrator, and it's kind of cool, like what Coppola did with him. But at the same time, it's like Adam Driver's like really the only one that's like really chewing up the scenery, and everybody else is so over the top and so outrageous, and the line delivery is so bad. But then at the same time, I respect it. It's so weird. This movie's going to be studied, and I don't know. It's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. But hey, I just wanted to talk about that because that scene right there, I was like, yeesh. Anyways, okay. And can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? And they're releasing, like, of course, the gag reels and the behind-the-scene featurettes because tomorrow, guys, you can watch Deadpool and Wolverine on video, digital. But can you believe it's been 2 years since this?
We're extremely sad to have missed D23, but we've been working very hard on the next Deadpool film for a good long while now. I've had to really search my soul on this one. His first appearance in the MCU obviously needs to feel special. We need to stay true to the character, find new depth, new motivation, new meaning. Every Deadpool needs to stand out and stand apart. It's been an incredible challenge that has forced me to reach down deep inside. And I have nothing. Yeah, just completely empty up here and terrifying. But we did have one idea. Hey, Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
Can't believe it's been 2 years. 2 years! 2 years since that. That's pretty freaking crazy. God damn. I was like, damn, that's been 2 years. I mean, obviously, you know, with everything that's happened with the writers, or with the strikes and everything like that, the actors' strikes and everything, just crazy that has, that's been 2 years since that happened, so. Man. Awesome. Awesome. And then, you know what's not awesome? And I'm not going to show it because this seems a little weird, and again, it's a Warner Brothers movie, right? But did you guys see this shit right here? What is going on with this Minecraft movie? And I feel sorry. I feel sorry. Minecraft fans, I feel sorry for you. I really do. Okay? Because they are taking the game that you love and they are completely half-assing the absolute shit out of the concept of Minecraft. I'm not a Minecraft person, never played it, seen it, and whatever. And I get it, it's just for kids. It's for kids, Dave. No, kids deserve even better than this, okay? But at the same time, the people who started playing Minecraft 15 years ago, they ain't kids anymore, and they deserve better. And the movie doesn't come out till April of next year, yet they released a full-on clip. A full-on clip. Not going to show it, because, you know, Warner Brothers, they like to do, is it Warner Brothers? It is, right? And then, you know, of course, they showed this whole thing, and they showed this stupid thing. There's Jason Momoa and blah, 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 blah. You guys remember Pixels? That's what this thing reminds me of. Pixels. Pixels. It reminds me of the Adam Sandler movie Pixels, which a lot of us went, oh, this is going to be like nostalgia, old video games. It's Adam Sandler. It's going to be great. And then you watched it, and you went, what did I just freaking watch? I don't know. Minecraft fans, I feel sorry for you. I really do. I really do. Because it just seems like they had no idea how they wanted to approach this. And they thought they had an idea, and it's just, I don't know. But then again, if you're looking forward to it, fine. By all means, and I hope you enjoy it and everything like that. I'm just looking at the quality and looking at the dialogue and the exchange and everything, and I'm just going, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even a fan, and I don't know. And we got the Watcher right here. He says, as a Minecraft fan, I can officially say this movie is garbage, and it's DOA, unless they reshoot it. No, they're not going to do that. They shouldn't lean into the horror. They should lean into the horror, not the comedy. Yeah. Whew. But I was like, it comes out on April 4th. Why are you releasing a full-on clip already? But then I'm going like, oh, did they mean to release that clip? I don't know. That's why I'm not going to play the clip, because I don't want Warner Brothers to be like, boom, blocked your shit. Because they've done that before. And see, another thing when it comes to Megalopolis, I'm kind of wondering when the actors involved start coming out and going, yeah, it was weird. Everything was weird. All of a sudden, we're going to start getting some interviews from some of the actors involved. Not like Adam Driver or anything like that, but hey, you know, some of the other ones. And we got Aubrey Plaza right here who actually talked about, like, hey, Aubrey Plaza talks about working on Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. It was not for the faint of heart. It was madness working on that film. My mentality every day was every man for himself. Only the strong survive here. Now, it's Aubrey Plaza. She could just be joking around and doing all this stuff. If you want to talk about an over-the-top performance, she definitely does that. Her and Shia LaBeouf, yeah, it was a competition on who was going to be more outrageous, her or him. Absolutely crazy. But because they do have interactions. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear more. I guess you could say more of the actors that were involved in this, like talk about actually the filming process and all this stuff like that. But, you know, she at least looked good, you know? She did. Oh, did you guys, oh man. This would actually be a good idea. This would be a good idea right here for this year's Oscars. If you want to get people tuned into the Oscars, well, you have to get some good hosts. hosts. That's right. Hosts. Plural. Get 2 hosts that could actually play off each other and make it pretty damn entertaining. And why not get the hosts for one of the biggest movies of 2023? Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are rumored to be the Academy's top choice to host the Oscars of 2025. There you go. Yes. Why not? Why not have that? They know they have great chemistry. They both can do the song and dance stuff. They've done it before. Why not just have them do it? I wouldn't hate that. I would actually watch that start to finish. I would gladly watch that. So, why not? Biggest movie of this year. Have them do that. I think that's smart. Smart. What the hell is this? I don't think anybody, any of us, anybody out there knew this was actually a thing. And it's so random and I don't even know, like, what the hell? Just saw this right here and I'm just kind of going like, what? This was actually a thing? Is this why, like, certain times when you watch other superhero content, they just said soups and whatever the hell? Well, according to Bleeding Cool, U.S. court states Marvel and DC have lost their superhero trademark. The U.S. courts have stated that Marvel Comics and DC Comics have lost their joint-owned superhero trademark after they were challenged. U.S. court cancels Marvel, of course, their joint challenge. This opens up the term superhero, that is 2 words, not 1, for public use, benefiting small creators like Super Babies. What? Huh? And this whole time, I thought it was 1 word, superhero. Just like Superman. It's 1 word, I thought, not 2 words. Shouldn't it be together? It's one of those? Like, what are we doing here? It's crazy. But I didn't know that was... Who knew that was actually a thing? They had that trademark where, like, other people couldn't use it, and now they can. That is so freaking weird. Wow. So crazy. But there you go. That just came about, and they lost their use of superhero. 2 words, not 1, which is weird because I've always used it as 1, and I thought it was always like 1. So crazy. There you go. News to all of us that was actually a thing. All right, what else we got here? Well, we got this. We got this right here, and this was actually like floating around, and I was like, I was seeing it on my feed a lot, and I went like, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing here? No, this is not the way to go. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fan casts out there, obviously, and I see them all the time where people just start throwing like a new name in the mix, and maybe they look like that, maybe they don't. I usually don't interact with this kind of stuff, but then I saw this. I kept seeing it across my feed, and I went like, well, I don't know. I'm just kind of going like, there's no way, even though it'd be funny if it actually did happen, but there's no way that this would actually happen. Sorry, hit the wrong button. This. Henry Cavill is Batman. Henry Cavill as Batman. What? No. That ain't happening. No, that's definitely not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. And, nothing against DC Comics fanboy for posting that out there, but I was like, no, that's a big no for me. If anything, if Cavill were to come back, and I don't think he's going to even come back into anything that's DCU, but if he were to, I'm still set on what I'd want him to be in the DCU. My whole thing was like, make him a villain, because he was obviously Superman the last time. Make him a villain, and I could see him being Vandal Savage. So make him that if you're going to do something with Vandal Savage, but they're probably not going to do something with that. Who knows? But I'm just saying, yeah, no Batman for Cavill. Come on. But yeah, I was seeing that over the weekend going, what? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. And then speaking of Henry Cavill, I saw this little edit right here, which I thought was pretty cool. Hey, a little combination of Clark Kent and Superman right here. It's not a bad edit. Lighting looks good. Everything looks good. You know, obviously it's a shot from BVS, and then, of course, a promo shot of Clark Kent right there. But I just thought that was pretty cool, you know, that DCF United posted this image of Cavill right there. So thought that was pretty sweet. Thought it was pretty sweet. And then we have this right here. One of the things that's interesting, The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, obviously, it's just a fantastic movie. It's one of the best like CBMs. And you know, some people hate that it is because it gets compared to a lot. Everybody always compares, and especially when it comes to new DC movies, they say, "Oh, it's the best movie since The Dark Knight." And it's annoying when publications put that. We all get annoyed about that because it's like, come on, there's other superhero movies. Yes, The Dark Knight was fucking fantastic. Heath Ledger was fantastic. And, I mean, I'm sure this image maybe has been around a little bit. I don't know. I just saw it on my feed. But it's a deleted scene. Deleted scene from The Dark Knight, the Joker's escape from Bruce's penthouse. So we have him right there. But is it that much of an escape? That was always like a little bit of a plot hole when it came to, okay, so he drops Rachel out where she slides down. Batman catches her. And then they fall. He breaks the fall. They land on a car. But I'm like, okay, but the Joker and his men still have to get down. Are they leaving on a helicopter? Maybe. But it looks like they're leaving in a car. So I'm like, Batman, get off your ass. Stop flirting with Rachel. And go get the Joker. I mean, there is a little bit of that where it's like, they just, like in the movie, they just cut to the next scene. It's like, okay, he rescued Rachel on the ground. They're still up there. They still have to get down. It's like, Batman, do your thing. But they just cut to the next scene. That was always kind of weird to me. Always kind of weird. And I felt that was like a little bit of like a plot hole kind of thing. But apparently there was something filmed where he did get out. Maybe he got out. They went through like a certain way and then got out the back and left. But it was always just kind of like always interesting. But anyways, I just saw that and I thought that was pretty cool. But then we have this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Zachary Levi. Good old Zachary Levi. It's been a little bit since we talked about Zachary Levi, but yeah, a lot of people were talking about Zachary Levi recently. I think this was what? This is 2 days ago. Zachary Levi. I don't think this is it. I don't think this is going to be anything of a shock for anybody. And yeah, if you're shocked by this, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked by this at all. Zachary Levi, the actor from Shazam, is here telling us, since RFK Jr. can't be president, we should vote for Trump. He is moderating the event today. And there he is right there in front of all that. And what is my response for Zachary Levi giving an endorsement for Trump? My response to all actors and celebrities giving their endorsement to any candidate: I don't give a shit. I don't care. I really don't care at all. Same thing goes with all the actors and celebrities that are endorsing Kamala, which, of course, that's the natural thing to do. I think Dave Bautista even put his endorsement yesterday as well. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. Just like I don't care that Zachary Levi is doing the same thing. I get it. Zachary Levi. I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, Zachary Levi's next movie, he's going to be co-starring with Gina Carano in one of those Angel Studios religious movies next. Yeah, he knows he's done with Hollywood. He knows he is. After the flop that was Harold and the Purple Crown, yeah, he's like, I'm done. He's already kind of been going that direction anyways. And I'm like, so it doesn't shock anybody that, yeah, he's found spirituality and religion and stuff like that, and he's been talking. I mean, obviously, when it came to like his rants and all the stuff that he was doing on Instagram Live, it was like, dude, cut it. It's not really helping your cause. And I think he saw the writing on the wall when it came to this. But to me, I don't care. Okay? Do I think he's like an evil disgusting person now because he's endorsing Trump. No, I'm not one of those people. I don't think he's an evil person. There's people already out there that think, you know, obviously if you endorse that candidate, you are an evil and you're this and this and this and this and this. I'm not one of those people because that's just ignorant shit right there. In my opinion, I think that's just dumb. But I'm like, it's not shocking. Not shocking at all. Not shocking, so. There you go, Zachary Levi. What else we got here? Oh yeah, you guys remember? Okay, so you guys remember when like we had that first poster, that poster of Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's kid. We had no idea that. Oh yeah, wait, we got Jack Nicholson's kid that's also an actor, and he's going to be in the upcoming Smile 2 movie. And it was like they showed that really cool poster, and just like, holy shit, he looks like his dad big time. Well, we have another poster, and there he is again, full on, without like the crazy like effect that they had on that first poster. But yeah, that's totally Jack right there. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes compared to that right there. So yeah, pretty cool. Ray Nicholson. Gotta love that. And then it's cool too, obviously with Kris Kristofferson passing away. You know, obviously he was a legend in music, but he was also, you know, for us comic book nerds, you know, he was obviously Whistler in the Blade movies, which he was great. And Wesley Snipes had some things to say. He was a little delayed, but here's what he had to say right here. Family, Kristofferson, pardon the delay. I was talking with GM Kris about how he learned me by way of example. Baritons have more fun. Valor is cool. Real fun and fame is having a beautiful family, and it takes bravery to be a good human with so many vampires around. I told GM Kris, hey Whistler, while on purpose, you keep making those weapons, love, passion, skill mastery, and swag, and I'll keep using them. Always your student, a.k.a. the Daywalker. So, good on Wesley Snipes. I think everybody was like wondering when he was going to say something, but yeah. So, he had that to say about Kris Kristofferson. And then, I don't know if anybody really cares about this right here, but Daniela Melchior, whatever, you know, Rat Catcher and Suicide Squad, she's actually going to be joining the Anaconda movie that's going to be starring, of course, Paul Rudd and Jack Black. So, a little bit of eye candy when it comes to that movie, at least. So, gotta love that, I guess. It's an interesting concept, you know. Apparently, when it comes to that, the Anaconda movie, it's kind of like a meta thing where Jack Black and Paul Rudd, they want to go to the Amazon or the jungle because they love the Anaconda movie, so they want to go and make an Anaconda movie, and then of course run into an anaconda. So yeah, why not? But she's freaking gorgeous, so little eye candy right there. Little eye candy right there for sure. So all right, that's all the tweets right there for you guys. Let's talk about some DCU news. Man, so much DCU news right here. I mean, obviously, like one of the first things that came about when it came to DCU, and we talked about it on the Vox stream, was the fact that, oh my God, they announced that, yes, there is going to be a Deathstroke and Bane movie. And a lot of people are going like, it's a team up? Is it versus? What are we doing here? That was like a lot of questions when it came to that DCU news. And yeah, it was like, well, okay, that's interesting. Why are they going to be doing this? And then there was no real details. And no real details, but naturally, fandom, the way that fandom is right now, you see something, especially if you hate everything that's happening with the DCU, oh, you're going to just shit all over it because it just gives you ammunition to shit on it. This is what happened to, like, anything that came out when Zach was doing his thing, oh, the people who hated Zach, they shat on every little thing that came out. Now, it's the opposite. Now we got Snyder fans that just want to shit on everything that comes out, even if there's nothing to really back it up and there's no real details. And the details when it comes to this this Deathstroke and Bane film. It's like, well, according to when it comes to like certain scoopers, when it comes to this information, well, one in particular scooper, I should say. Do I have it right here? Yeah, right here. And you know, I'll give a little trust because a lot of us were kind of going like, well, is it this thing right here? Secret 6. So that's what Daniel RPK is saying. Secret 6. And that's already been kind of teased about. And then, of course, James Gunn has teased Deathstroke before. He's posted something. And it's not going to be Joe Meng, even though they're friends. It'd almost be kind of cool if it was. But, of course, that would be a whole different, thing right there. But it's sounding to me like, even though it would be cool, because I remember there was like the idea on the Vodka stream by Phil. He brought up the idea that the fact that, oh, wait, well, what if they... they have they're going after something. They're doing like a hit on a metahuman on somebody, somebody strong. And it's like a kind of like, hitman versus hitman kind of thing. But then I'm like going, that'd be cool. I actually like that concept. I thought that was pretty cool. But if it's a Secret 6 thing, I mean, Deathstroke's not part of the Secret 6. Maybe it could be, but Bane is, Deadshot. And then of course, it's a group and maybe they're going to go after Deathstroke. I don't know. Seems like James Gunn is all about the group. If this all moves forward, it's like, okay, we're like, how many groups do we have? We started with the Suicide Squad, then we have Superman, but there's groups when it comes to Superman, and then we have Waller. That's probably gonna have more groups. You have Creature Commandos, another group. It seems like he likes an ensemble. James Gunn definitely likes an ensemble. You got the Authority that's also coming out. He definitely is a fan of the ensemble, but it needs, I'm like, maybe we need to relax on the ensemble there a little bit, Jimmy. But hey. But at the same time, it's like, And then, of course, there was something that happened, too, before this, or during this. Or, well, during all this and everything that was happening. But James Gunn did talk about how there was a friend of his, a close friend of his, died from alcoholism. He posted about it, and he wanted to put the message out there that if you know anybody who is suffering from serious hardcore alcoholism where their life is going to be in jeopardy, like is their life's pretty much in shambles, he posted a message out there saying like, hey, reach out, do all this and everything. And I thought it was cool because even people who are not fond of James Gunn were responding and saying like, hey, sorry for your loss, doing all this. But naturally there was like somebody who was apparently a Snyder fan posted something against it that said like, well, this is revenge for what you did to Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill and all this kind of stuff. And when I saw that, I went, Jesus Christ, not something like this. Because what's also interesting that's happened now that we're in this DCU era right now, and with everything, and again, like I said, there are people that are just losing their minds when it comes to fandom. Obviously, look what happened to me last week, and look at what I had to respond to when it came to certain things I said last week that had to do with that certain part of the Snyder fandom. But when I see stuff like that, I go, I didn't even comment about it because everybody was blasting this person's tweet that was responding like that. But then at the same time, you know what I saw too that also made me sick to my stomach was the fact that you had hardcore Gunn fans and hardcore Snyder fans trying to pin this person to each other's fandoms. It wasn't so much that this response was there, but it was that the diehard Snyder fans and the diehard Gunn fans were trying to pin this person to their fandom. And I'm going, fuck off. Stop it. What are you guys doing? Why are you trying to pin it? And I'm just, but at the same time, I'm going, who knows? It could be somebody who is just pretending to be a Snyder fan that said that to make Snyder fans look bad, or it just could be a legit Snyder fan. We don't know nowadays because fandom is batshit fucking crazy now. And we can't decide, we can't determine, or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, no, who cares? Now the account has been suspended, and it's all good. But it was just like, what the hell, man? That was just like one of those things where I couldn't facepalm even any harder than I did because I was like, oh boy, here we go. Let's see how. And I didn't even comment about it because I'm like, who knows what the hell this person is, whether they are or not, I don't know. But then when you see people fighting. and trying to pin it on the other fandom. It's like, it's ridiculous, okay? Nobody should be pinning it on either fandom. It's just, it was a gross response to somebody who's trying to put a message out there. It's absolutely ridiculous. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Ugh. Imagine playing a drinking game every time Snyder fans are mentioned. Oh, what, for me? For me today? It won't be that much. One step. Yeah, glad they got suspended too. Reverse for is that what's happening? Fandom is like the elections. Oh, it totally is. Yeah, I mean that we're in a very tribal era right now. We're in a very tribal era right now, and it sucks because, you know, again, you just don't, just the way that people are, like, you know, especially when you're not trying to subscribe to that. Like when I posted my clip about the whole animated Snyderverse thing being continued in animated form on TikTok, I had responses going, "Get over it, get over it, not gonna happen, get over it." You know, I've noticed that when it comes to the TikTok response, I get a lot of people that are just like, fuck, you know, the Snyderverse, doing all that, and they'll say all that stuff when it comes to that. Twitter, it's a different story. Twitter, I get the Snyder fans that push back against those ideas. It's kind of interesting, so. Thank you, Arkham Knight. Appreciate that. But anyways, now we got David Corenswet again talking about bulking up and then cutting for Superman. This is on the man. What is it called? I forgot the podcast. The podcast. Hold on. I always forget what this podcast is called. I want to give.
You know when?
Whoa. This is from the Manly Thing Sort of podcast. But here's a clip of him talking about the whole bulking process again.
I like that. Now that you've completed Superman and filming, you've come down in weight. Even when you were shooting, I noticed that you it's so tough to maintain.
Yeah, I do.
At that 238 weight, right?
Well, and I didn't try. I wasn't 238 when we started shooting.
Okay.
I was 238 at my max.
That was crazy.
It was so awesome. I want to go
the
back.
picture that came out of you at like some reading or something where you're
where I'm wearing this
over.
sweatshirt. I mean, that was like, I put on like one of those crew neck, whatever. What's the brand that everybody wore in the 90s? The like crew neck sweatshirts.
Champion.
Champion. And I put on one of those sweatshirts, and I was like an XL or double XL, and I was like, I fill this out. Like, this is amazing.
That's wild.
I didn't fit into any of my pants. It didn't feel great because I did it so quickly that like my body just hadn't adjusted to the extra weight, and I was still trying to eat a lot. But that was at the peak of my bulk, and then I slowly lost weight before we started shooting. I started shooting at about 228, 230. I knew that I wanted this to be my excuse to see what it felt like to gain essentially as much weight as I could.
So there you go. He gained, and then he like cut down probably about 8 to 10 pounds and everything. So yeah, he's very tall, Ryan. Droga, I know you hate Corenswet for some reason. You hate him for some reason. He seems like such a despicable man. I get it. And then he had this to say. Let's see what else he had to say too. I don't need to talk about that. There was the other thing. Okay, so we also have this too because we're wondering exactly when we're going to get our first footage of Superman. And when are we going to get like a teaser trailer, some kind of trailer? I mean, obviously, we got October, and it's supposed to be the New York Comic Con. Maybe there'll be something there. But, you know, when it comes to David Corenswet on this podcast, well.
The time of the year, because I think, who knows, like, I don't know if...
some things maybe as soon as the winter.
Might be happening, exactly. In December, some things will happen in the spring, and then obviously the movie's going to come out in summer. So, time of the year, because I think... Who knows? Like, I don't know if
some things maybe as soon as the winter.
Some things might be happening exactly in December. Some things.
So I'm not sure if that's exactly anything right there because he said like Corenswet said winter and then the host said December. So it was a little weird. I'm like, so people were like, it's gonna be coming out in December. I'm like, really though? I don't know. it's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to take that. It was so quick. And, Corenswet just was like winter. So it could be December. I mean, it could be November, and November into December. Could be January. Could be February. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think there might be bringing something in New York Comic Con to be smart. But, Super Bowl could be one thing. Could be something like that. I don't know. So he's just saying that. Axel, you don't like his face. He's just one of those guys. He's one of those guys that you don't like his face. All right. I don't like your face. That's cool. I got that shirt, hat, pins. He's in a police show with John Bernthal on Max. Oh, okay. I was hoping to be more endeared to Corenswet now. Similar to Sasha Kaye when she got the role. He's handsome. I don't like Corenswet's face either. He's too handsome. Makes me look bad. That's funny. All right. What else we got? Okay. We got a couple more things here. But yeah, check out that full podcast if you want to check that out. But yeah, when it comes to... Okay, so... Well... Should I talk about this? No, let's. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let's move over to when it comes to the DCU. Let's move over to Green Lantern. Let's move over to Green Lantern right here. And obviously, we knew that Josh Brolin was on the top of the list when it came to who was going to be playing Hal Jordan in the Lanterns series. Of course, now it's going to be played by Kyle Chandler, which hasn't been officially confirmed, but I guess it's been confirmed. I don't know, but. We got Josh Brolin right here, comicbook.com, and they asked him about, hey, what happened with Green Lantern? Here's the clip, and Josh Brolin was like, hey, you know what? The Green Lantern thing didn't work out.
There was a rumor online that you turned down the role of Green Lantern, and is that because you're holding out for an even cooler DC character?
You know what?
Looking at me.
The Green Lantern didn't work out, but that's okay. It's working out. Like, who is it going to be? Kyle Chandler, I heard. And I think I love him as an actor. I think he's wonderful, actually. And, we'll see what's down the line, man.
There you go. Simple little clip. But that just shows you that, hey, it was a thing. It definitely was a thing. It wasn't just like something that they were just like throwing out there. And it was like, Josh Brolin, please come over here and be Green Lantern. No, it was actually a thing that happened. He turned it down. It's perfectly fine, even though it would have been funny if he would have taken up that role after that whole exchange between him and Ryan Reynolds when it came to when they were talking shit on each other for Deadpool 2. But, there you go. So, and if I don't know if he'd end up being something down the road, who else he would actually be, but I just thought that was cool. It's cool that he got asked that. Chris Killian always asking the tough questions when it comes to that, so that's good. All right. So now when it comes to, all right. Let me talk about this right here. Let's lead into the debunkings when it comes to DCU, when it comes to James Gunn and all this kind of stuff. First off, we had the whole thing again. We had the whole thing again that came about that possibly Robert Pattinson being the DCU Batman. That got thrown out there, and it was only because, again, you can't just read something and then just take it at face value. And sadly, we are now back in that era where people are just reading tweets and just automatically believing it, mainly because they hate it. So they want to add more hate to it. They see something, especially when it comes to the DCU. They hate the DCU is a thing. They hate James Gunn. So, hey, this is going to lead me to talk more shit about it and shit on it more. And it came about that some of these DC handles on Twitter were basically saying that Robert Pattinson is still might be, after the Batman Part 2, might be the DCU Batman. Now, of course, this was coming from not really a scoop at all, from a certain 40-year-old scooper who was trying to treat Twitter as a dating website not too long ago. And anytime I see his name, I go, I'll wait to even, take anything with that. But he didn't even say that. That's what's so funny about when this rumor came out and it started circulating, he didn't actually say that, oh yeah, Robert Pattinson might be the DCU Batman. Now, I've said, from what I've heard from my little sources and everything like that, that yeah, it in fact has been on the table, but Matt Reeves definitely doesn't want to do it. It's just one of those things of like, does Warner Brothers and DC Studios have the money to have two different Batman, two different versions of Batman live action? And to be honest, I mean, if you're going to have two different versions of certain character, Batman's probably the best one to have. So that was circulating, but I saw like when, the people who actually read the article, it was basically Mr. Jeff Schneider who was putting in his 2 cents that said like Zaslav is really going like, we need to compete, and having two different Batmen, two different live action Batman characters is going to hurt that. This is Jeff Snyder's opinion. So he thinks that they should incorporate Robert Pattinson into the DCU, which, to be honest, just doesn't really fit. I mean, they could do it. You never know. Could happen. I mean, from the things I was hearing that, yeah, it was definitely on the table. And apparently also, too, from what I was hearing, that Robert Pattinson might be okay with it. Maybe, that he would actually finish the Batman Part 2 and then take on the role of full-on Batman in this DCU. I don't know if that's true. Again, that's just, you just hear things. But at the same time, I'm just like, guys, don't take everything at face value, because it was literally like a DC Twitter handle that rearranged what was actually said, put out this rumor, and then of course people just run with it, and then people were like hating it, and then people were, of course shitting on it and stuff like that. I'm like, can we stop just reading tweets and just, when we don't know exactly what's happening or where it's from? But hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't want to see it happen. I want to see the Batman Part 2, another spin-off series, maybe Catwoman or something like that. And then I want to see the Batman Part 3 that's going to wrap up Matt Reeves' little story. That's what I want to see. I'm not, if they were to end up putting Robert Pattinson into the DCU Batman role, I mean, it doesn't really fit if they're going to do this Brave and the Bold role. It doesn't feel like it would actually fit. But if they somehow made it work, I'd be open to it, but I'm definitely not for it. I'm like, just give me a different Batman. Give me a more fantastical Batman. This one's not as fantastical. And if you take like a more grounded Batman, make him fantastical. I don't know. It just might not translate all that well. But then again, if it were to happen to Matt Reeves and James Gunn, all of a sudden we're just like, hey, we're doing this, guys. Then I'd be like, well, all right. If they're both in on it and they're both good, all right, let's see what you have to bring. But at the same time, I don't see it happening, and I don't think it's actually going to happen. And then another thing that was debunked as well. This is debunked strictly from James Gunn. When it comes to Mr. Freeze, we've been hearing that, okay, Mr. Freeze might be Matt Reeves' villain for the Batman Part 2, but then there was like talks about Mr. Freeze getting a movie. And then some people were like, well, is it a movie in the DCU or is it a movie in Matt Reeves' universe? And I think it was leaning towards Matt Reeves' universe. So here we got James Gunn responding to that. Hey, James, is the rumor about a Mr. Freeze project true? I haven't heard that one, but there are a lot of rumors out there this week. Some of them are true, some are partially true, and some aren't true at all. If it's fun for you to follow the unknowns, follow them. But don't trust anything completely until you hear it from me or Peter, who is not online despite me seeing him tagged and stuff. Oh, yeah. There was a whole thing when it came to Peter Safran, and some people were, I don't know. Again, people are online way too goddamn much. That's for damn sure. So some things are true, some things aren't, and partially true. Something tells me that whole Bane and Deathstroke thing is in the category of partially true, because it's a Secret Six movie that has Deathstroke and Bane in it, but it's not like, yeah, that's what I think that he meant by that. I don't know what is fully true. And then, of course, things that aren't true, I don't know. Again, we're just going to keep on hearing James Gunn say, like, hey, it's like, James, if you're tired of saying that if you don't hear from me or Peter, just don't even respond. Just debunk and say no, yes. Maybe just leave it to that. But, he likes to talk. James Gunn likes to talk. So no Mr. Freeze movie, no Mr. Freeze project, but he didn't debunk that he might, that Mr. Freeze could show up in the Batman Part 2. Still a possibility. Still a possibility, but definitely no solo project when it comes to Mr. Freeze. So there's that debunk. And then he also debunked this right here. James Gunn also debunked the whole, is he writing a comic book? We talked about that last week where it was like, James Gunn reportedly going to be writing a comic book. We just kind of assumed that it would be like a prequel comic, a tie-in comic book to his Superman movie. And somebody actually threw that at him, and this is what he had to say. Dear God, no. Although working with Jim Lee would be amazing, I'd be dead if I took this on. Yeah, dude's got way too much going on right now, okay? Completing a Superman movie, directing episodes of Peacemaker, helping direct episodes of Creature... I mean, the dude's running a lot of things DC Studios, and the reason why he's running it is because they can't afford to have too many people doing all this. It's all like the money thing, so it's like all on James. I feel sorry for him a little bit because, I mean, he's gonna be losing that fucking hair of his soon, I think, but not gonna be doing that. And then here's the thing where I get disappointed again when it comes to certain fans, especially in the Snyder fandom. Well, they like to turn on people. They like to turn on people. And I've even seen Snyder fans in the past turn on Zack Snyder himself. Because it's not what Zack wants, it's not what anybody involved with those movies or whatever want. It's all about what these fans want. It's what they want. That's why the whole live action or nothing at all, when it came to the whole animation idea, it's such a selfish proclamation. I can't even I couldn't wrap my brain about that. I'm like, well, if Zack were to want animation, let him have animation, but live action or nothing at all. But so when it came to the star, the Batman star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, we had Jim Lee there. And Jim Lee said this during his speech.
Batman is continuing forward in a thoroughly new era on screen as James Gunn and Peter Safran kick off their bold new vision for the DCU next summer with James's highly anticipated film, Superman. Yes. Yes. In the meantime, fans can see the rise of Oz Cobb from Matt Reeves' The Batman and the HBO original limited series The Penguin from DC Studios. Yes, and Warner Brothers TV, now streaming on HBO and Max. That is a plug, but they don't need it. It has a rating of 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. 94. Huge.
Yeah, some people didn't like that. They're like, oh my God, Jim Lee, I just lost respect for him. I can't believe he's doing that. DC Studios needs all the help it can get. I don't know how many times I keep having to say this, okay? Just because you hate that it's a thing and you hate James Gunn, you hate all the DCU, Jim Lee is trying to help the company that he's working for that is now branched off to DC Studios. He's trying to do his due diligence from DC Comics, being the CCO of DC Comics. He's now trying to help DC Studios because it's part of the brand that he works for and has worked for. Yes, I get it. You know, when you watch that a little bit, when he reads off the Rotten Tomatoes percentage and stuff like that, it's a little cringe, but at the same time I go, I get it. We got to promote this studio. But of course, you know, I start going down that For You, and I see fans that are part of the Snyder fandom that now have turned against Jim Lee. They've turned against Jim Lee. They hate that he did that. I actually saw an interaction between like some Snyder fans they've turned against James Wan. I saw like a little thing. Sometimes I just go down these rabbit holes and I'm like, what are these people saying? Yeah, they were calling James Wan a hack. I saw a tweet that was getting a lot of traction that talked about a big downgrade from Mira in Justice League to Aquaman. You know, Zack's Mira to James Wan's Mira. And I'm like, yeah, they're different. They're definitely different. They're different takes, but I respected the different takes. because they're two different artists that are handling this. But yeah, but it went through like a whole thing, and I saw like the comments underneath. They're like, yep, James Wan's a hack. They were calling James Wan a hack. They're calling Jim Lee a hack. Not the way to do it. It's crazy. But that's what's so freaking crazy about all this stuff like right here. Everybody's just too rabid, and it's like, well, okay, it's only a matter of time before you turn against everybody involved. I mean, I've seen him turn against Cavill, Fisher, Ezra, Gal Gadot. Snyder friends have turned against Gal Gadot. I think the only ones they haven't turned against Zach himself, really. They kind of have. I've seen kind of that. But they haven't turned against Ben Affleck. I mean, it's only a matter of time, I guess, right? Anyway, sorry. I don't mean to go into all that, but it's just ridiculous. Yeah, there's people that turned that back when Ray was really pushing back when he was pushing back against the studio and stuff like that for the investigation. There was one in particular, like there was like a little sanction, and one in particular, dude, I don't think he's actually online anymore because I think he realized he fucked up. But there was him and this guy, it was funny because this guy really hated me even though we took a picture together at the first SnyderCon. I remember this. He was pushing it back against Ray because when Ray was pushing it back against like Hamada and the studio and the investigation, it was because Ray was ruining the chances of the Snyderverse being restored by doing this whole thing. So he was pissed off at Ray for ruining the chances of the Snyderverse being restored with his whole claims and everything like that. Swear to God. And I was like, wow, it was like unbelievable. It was unbelievable when I saw that. Like I said, as we get further away from the Snyder Cut, sometimes it's just like, oof, it's crazy. Anyways, we're good. Yeah, Momoa. I mean, they're going to, yeah. Like I said, it's just the further we get away, the more it's just going to get more where these guys just get like very upset about things. I mean, look what's, like I said, look what's happened. But when I see like stuff where they're calling James Wan a hack and Jim Lee a hack, I'm like, go fuck yourself. You know who doesn't think that they're a hack? Zack Snyder. You know, the guy that you love so much that you're obsessed with? Zack Snyder does not think like that at all. He respects the absolute shit out of Jim Lee and James Wan. Sorry. I just don't get it. Anyways, the Penguin. We got the Penguin. Episode 2. And spoilers here, guys. So if you haven't seen the Penguin episode 2, I'm going to talk a little spoilers right here. So you've been warned. I'm going to let it be known. Obviously, maybe not too many spoilers. Maybe not too many spoilers when it comes to episode 2, but definitely when it comes to episode 1. If you haven't seen episode 1, definitely like mute or whatever. Or come back in here because, man, I'm telling you, this episode, I don't know, it's like much better than the first one, but the first one was just like this cool introduction, and you really got to get to know Oz a little bit more. And of course, you get to know Vic, and then you got Sophie that gets into the picture, and then of course the whole Maroni Falcone family. You get everything. You get all the base of what you need to know. And then, of course, when it comes to Oz killing Alberto in the beginning, which, of course, sets up this entire story where now Oz has to play both sides and make sure his ass doesn't get found out that he killed Alberto. That's what's so great about this series right here. And, of course, the way that the series ended with Alberto's body showing up in that car while Oz was about to get tortured, which didn't link Oz to it. It's just a whole thing. So now that we're getting this episode right here, there's something that happens in this episode where you go, holy shit, Oswald, Cobb, whatever you want to call him, he thinks on his feet. Motherfucker thinks on his feet because obviously we have the memorial. In this episode, the memorial for Alberto happens. And Oz has to do something. He has to improvise. And what he does is so freaking smart. So smart. I was like, yes. Because at first I was like, oh, he's going to do that. And then I went, no, he did that instead. Whoa. That was good. And then, of course, you get a little backstory with Sophia. Because it opens up where you get like a shot of her in Arkham. It's like a whole thing. We get more of Sophia and how she is like a little effed up. And how people don't like her either. So this show is so good. This show is so good, and this episode was so good. And things happen, and something specifically happens where Oz has to improvise. And he's got to be playing into it. And then, because something happens in the show too, in this episode as well, that Oz had to improvise again. So there's two things. When something is going down, like a job-wise, he has to improvise. And then when something happens at the memorial for Alberto, the funeral, he has to improvise again. And I'm like, this is good writing. And not to mention Colin Farrell's still knocking it out of the park with his portrayal as Oz. It's just something that's like, oh man, Oz is a fucking smart dude. This ain't his first rodeo. And he's like doing a good job of what he has to do to keep his, to make sure he stays alive. It's just so freaking great. So great. Sophia and the PTSD. So freaking great. There you go. Dave, the obsession the fans have with Zach reminds me of the Mouth of Madness. I don't think I've seen that. The Mouth of Madness sounds familiar. But there you go. There's my review of episode 2. Cannot wait for episode 3. Just loving this series so much. All right, we got the box office, and of course we have Megalopolis. Right? Megalopolis. I mean, that's just the obvious joke, I guess. Now we had Megalopolis come out, and of course we also had The Wild Robot come out, which are the 2 new movies, and we all knew that the Megalopolis was not going to really do much. We saw the projections and all the controversies behind it. It's going to be studied. It's going to be studied. This movie is definitely going to be studied because of the reaction to it, the filmmaking of it all, and then of course the box office. But obviously when it comes to a family movie about a robot, that was going to take the top spot. The Wild Robot made $35.8 million over the weekend. Grand total of 54 essentially if you round up. So not too shabby. Not sure what the budget is right there. And then some movie came called Devara Part 1. I'm not even sure what the hell this is. But that was up there. Not sure what that was, a new movie. And there we go, Megalopolis, $4.9 million. Jesus Christ. $120 million budget. Francis Ford Coppola sold his winery, his vineyard. He sold that to fund this movie. And I think it's probably going to fund more than just this movie. But yeah, $4.9 million. I mean, it's going to be studied. This is a movie that's going to be studied because of like I said, the reaction. Because it's not a terrible movie. Like I said, it might be quietly brilliant. It might be quietly brilliant. The filmmaking aspect and the cinematography and a lot of things are really quite beautiful. But at the same time, there's a lot of things where I go, what the fuck am I watching? It's just one of those movies, and nobody was excited for it. And the box office, $4.9 million. Megalopolis, it's a disaster. But at the same time, all funded by them. And of course, Lionsgate. Woo, man, Lionsgate has had a rough year. Definitely had a rough year. Thanks for joining, Watcher. Appreciate it. See, you got a dip right there, so. But I say, you have a chance to watch Megalopolis, watch it. Even if you want to drink something, smoke something, ingest a little funny mushroom thingy, by all means, enjoy yourself, because it makes you feel like you're high. It's an interesting movie, man. I mean, for the most part, I was just like, yeah, this I did not enjoy most of it, but I enjoyed some of it, and I'm like, yeah. But yeah, nobody was planning on watching that. Nobody's planning on same vibe as Excalibur. Yeah, there's something with it when it comes to that. And then finally, guys, let's wrap up the show by a movie that I'm very much looking forward to that's coming out during Christmas. Hey, Tony Movie chapping you down. No Blomkamp fan. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Much appreciated. Helping out that pirate ship. Let's see. What was your experience when you saw Jonah Hex? I didn't see it in the movie theater. I saw it on HBO, and it was like one of those things where I went, what the hell am I watching? Megan Fox is hot. Josh Brolin looks weird. And this is terrible. It was just one of those movies. One of those movies, so. All right, love you too, Mom. Thank you again. Thank you again for dinner last night and the gift that I will show on Friday's Vodka Stream. But when it comes to NOSFERATU, I am all about this. And I figured, you know, there wasn't too much news when it came to the start of the week. So I figured, why not react to this new trailer? Because I'm very much looking forward to this, of course, from Robert Eggers. Let's watch it together.
Come to me.
Oh boy. Ouch. That looked pretty cool. It's just such a... This movie just looks beautiful. Oh.
I've never shared my secret with any soul.
You'll tell me what you can from the beginning.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding.
Lex Luthor.
When we turned around, everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death.
Death.
But I'd never been so happy.
She's gonna give a Oscar-worthy performance, it looks like.
Is a force more powerful than
Is that
evil.
girl naked on a horse? Okay.
Its desire is to consume all life on Earth. Only you can redeem us. He is coming.
It's a Christmas movie, everybody. New Christmas movie.
There is a devil in this world, and I have met him.
But you could never please me as he could. I'm ready.
Yep. Robert Eggers is just, he's so good. He's so good. Everything just looks so freaking good. And performances, everything just looks, yeah. It's one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It's just so crazy that's coming out during Christmas. But it's a wintry type of movie. Obviously, you could see that. I just really hope that, you know, I'm like one of those like sticklers. Like anytime that you're showing me like it's cold outside and there's snow, I gotta see that breath. And I'm sure Robert Eggers is like one of those like detailed guys too that, you know, you feel how cold it is, how cold things are. I don't know. I know sometimes when I'm just like going, it's snowing, but I don't see any breath. I'm just like one of those assholes. But I'm sure that it's going to be fine. But yeah, that just looks absolutely fantastic. I know that last shot where you see him in the shadow of the curtain and you don't see him. And then she's just like, wow. Yeah, this movie's going to be phenomenal. Kind of wonder though, it's going to be in there just in time for award season. You know, I think maybe because you have to be in there before the beginning of the year. So maybe, just maybe, we get some Robert Eggers love when it comes to award season. Could be great. Anyways, all right, so there you go. It's a little live reaction of NOSFERATU. Okay, what else we got here? All right, let's get some questions and see what you guys have to say over here. I'm just looking, making sure there's nothing terrible in my underneath my tweet here. But yeah, let's go over to Twitter and see some Twitter questions. All right, let's see what we got here. We got Ryan right here. Go see Joker. The show can wait. Yeah, well, I'll wait till Thursday. So the Joker can actually wait. James D. Michele. What's your take on Christina Dodd still apparently writing Brave and the Bold? Yeah, I'm a little worried, not going to lie. You know, it hasn't been the best track record because she did also Birds of Prey, right? And helped with The Flash. Even though I really like The Flash. But, you know, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, she helped with that one too, right? You know, it's not a, you know, I'm like I said, I'm just like, hey, show me something cool. Show me a good story and, you know, I'm hopes. But I'm a little hesitant, not going to lie. I mean, James literally has Tom King, who wrote an awesome Batman run, and Drew I think you mean Drew Goddard, who wrote Daredevil season 1. Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like there's a pretty good writer's room when it comes to these things, so that's not bad. Eric, happy birthday, Dave. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. So one of the things I've been hearing about Megalopolis a lot is that the first half or so is very well paced and put together, but by the last act, it seems more of a mess. So odds Coppola has an extended director's cut in the works. I hope not, because like it seems like this would be his director's cut because he funded the movie himself. He didn't have to listen to a studio unless he has some kind of crazy 3-hour cut, which he might. I don't know. I felt like when it got to the final act, it got a little bit more crazier where I didn't really know exactly what was going on, but it felt like it was faster. It was a faster pace. I'm not saying that the movie was terribly paced, but you know, it was just some things where I was like, what the hell is actually going on here? A lot of symbolism, a lot of layers. Then we got Dylan G. Dylan G says Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman reported. Yes, already talked about that. I am all for it. I would watch it. Dylan G is also showing Cavalrine, the Cavalrine, full on high def. We got Miles Graham right here. Speaking of box office, I went to see Transformers 1 on Saturday, and I gotta say, it's sad that the movie is not doing so well. It's a great film, and it's different. It's something different from this franchise. Yeah. Well, I mean, like looking at the box office right here, I should have shown that. But Transformers 1, it had I heard it was like a $75 million budget. So it's getting close to at least making the budget back. It might have some legs. It definitely might have some legs. And yeah, it is kind of, because I really enjoyed it myself. I wish it got like a bigger audience, but it still might. It's not a flop. It's definitely not a flop. But, it'll hopefully get a little bit of legs. We'll see. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing because it is a pretty damn good Transformers film. Devon Wooter, hey Dave, what is your thought about a Bane and Deathstroke movie? Or you talked about that? DC doing this because of Deadpool and Wolverine? Nah, it's not going to be like that at all. I just watched Skyfall, fantastic movie. Do you have a favorite scene? I mean, that train scene is pretty damn good. And then, of course, the final scene, the final little showdown at that mansion. From the movie, when James Bond got shot, I remember people was screaming. Yeah, it was just like, whoa, he got shot. Yeah, it's a pretty damn good James Bond movie for sure. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, honestly, I'm not surprised that Mr. Freeze is being debunked for the Batman 2. He wasn't debunked for the Batman 2. He was debunked for his own solo project. Could be multiple villains, some more prominent than others. The top contenders for me for villains could be Clayface introducing Two-Face and the Knight's Owl. What do you think? I mean, could be. I mean, I think there's going to be a Two-Face. There's going to be a Harvey Dent at least. Clayface, I've always said, yeah, you do that Silver Age, Golden Age Clayface. That could actually work in Matt Reeves' universe. Edward Arnett, hey Dave, you ready to see the response to Joker Fallait à Deux tonight from the public? Yeah, I know. I'm sure there's a bunch of them out there. Like on Wednesday's show, we'll go over a bunch of reviews for Joker too. So I'd like to do that, of course, on Wednesday's shows. Darkness Under the Wind, Alex. Dave, question 1. Do you see Sophia dying or get sent back to Arkham in the end of The Penguin? I see her getting sent back. I don't think they'd kill her off. It'd be kind of cool if she stuck around and then maybe she has a presence in the Batman Part 2. When we do likely get Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2, would that mean we're not getting him in the DCU for a long time? Probably not. They probably won't share, which is fine. There's so many goddamn villains in the Rogues Gallery for Batman. They could share, and they could split it off. Jamon Watson, I want to know where all these scoops are coming from. Right? Just one scoop of that, and it will cause outrage. Exactly. That's what's happening. Is some of this shit just comes about, and then people start spreading it around because they either hate the DCU or they love it so much. It's like, you guys got to relax a little bit. And then we got Richard Barker right here, who's a Nerdrotic parody, who's sending me some random weird frickin' image of what's his name from the Harry Potter series. No idea what's going on there, but that's fine. That's fun. That's good. Thank you, Mr. Barker. Wow. But, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I know when it, like, again, that's one of the things that I keep on like kind of stressing about, especially on this show, is the fact that it's like, don't just read a tweet from like one of these. There's so many of these like movie Twitter handles and DC Twitter handles and all this stuff. It's like before, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I get it. I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'll react to something quickly. But when it comes to something that's pretty crazy, like for instance, the Deathstroke and Bane thing, that was actually in the trades. That's what was weird. But what was weird about that too is like immediately I went, and then we talked about it on the Vodka stream, is like I immediately went, man, it's not going to just be a movie with them. That just, unless it's like something that's really cool, like a concept, like what Phil said was the fact that, yeah, maybe it's them going after the same mark, and it could be like a metahuman. But then I added to it, I'm like, well, then maybe it'll then veer off into, if they're going to do a Titans movie, Deathstroke can veer off to that story, and then Bane can veer off to the Brave and the Bold story. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't need Bane to be like a villain in the Batman story, because I was talking about this with a friend. I was talking about this with a friend that I was catching up with on Saturday, because he likes nerd shit too. And I was talking about this whole idea, and he was like, Bane is, and maybe we even talked about it on the Vox stream. It's like Bane is cool because Bane is specifically known for breaking Batman's back. The whole Night's End story is one of my favorite Batman stories. But other than that, when it comes to Bane, it's like he's big, he's got the venom, you know, he's ridiculous, you know, he could just basically just snap you in two. But at the same time, I'm like, there's not really much else to Bane other than he's going to break Batman. So I'm like, okay, the Night's End story was cool. What Christopher Nolan did was cool. He took the Bane character and grounded it. No Venom stuff, different. I'm like, okay, but I don't need him to be like a villain for Batman Brave and the Bold or something like that. Unless they were to actually do a live action Night's End type of story. It's like, do I really need, like, I'm not really like all about, like, when it comes to the Rogues Gallery of Batman, do I need Bane? I'm like, nah. And then I'm just kind of wondering, like, how are they going to do Bane? It's going to be like partially VFX. They got it, you know, or is it just, is it going to be partially like a big, like a body suit that some actor's going to have to wear? Or is it just going to be a big dude? And like, what are we doing here? I don't know. Night's End, Night's Fall. Well, same thing. Same thing, Droga. Night's Fall was, yeah. Night's Fall is when he broke his back. Night's End is when Batman came back. Yeah, so yeah, Night's End, Night's Fall. It's all like a bit, that story where you actually, the story of, I like the story of, like, you know, Bane breaks his back and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, you have the Azrael Batman that comes in, and of course he basically almost kills Bane, and then of course he starts going crazy, and then of course Bruce Wayne, you know, he starts, you know, he heals up and then tries to get back to it. Yeah, Night's Fall, Night's End, you know, that whole story of like the fall, and then of course him defeating the Azrael Batman. But no, I mean, it's just, to me, I'm just like, I don't need that much more Bane. But if he's gonna be part of the Secret Six, okay, I'll have it with that. But yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like, man, there needs to be a little bit more details when it comes to that. I think they just wanted to put those two names out there because then people would start talking about it. If you put something out there like Secret Six, nobody's gonna know what the fuck that is. That's the thing. It's like you put like, oh yeah, DC's making a Secret Six movie. Well, what the hell is that? But then you put DC is making a Deathstroke and Bane movie. People go, what? So maybe it was a little smart. Maybe it was a little smart. Now that I think about it, probably could have been like a little smart idea to do it like that instead. But I don't know. Everything's just so up in the air where you just kind of go like, all right, we'll see what happens. I'm along for the ride. That's all. I mean, how many times have we heard so many different things in development for even when it came to the DCEU, even when Zach was in there, they released a whole slate, for God's sakes, of movies that ended up not happening. That's just the track record when it comes to this. And I'm just hoping now that there's actually DC Studios, when this shit comes out, it actually moves forward. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, there's no way that it's just going to be a Deathstroke and Bane movie. So it might just be, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what all happens when it comes to this. Anyways, all right, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap up the stream tonight. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. Love ya. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like, thumbs up before you leave. Comment down below. Do all that stuff. Helps the algorithm. Everything helps the algorithm. Guys, if you want to become a member, you can become a member of the stream. Support the channel. We got the Patreon too. I'm always posting everything first there, ad-free, and try to post things, try to post extra things as much as possible as well. And then, of course, follow me on all the different sock meds that are up there. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Have a good Tuesday, and yeah, be wary of Joker 2 spoilers. They're going to be out there like crazy now. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll talk more Joker. We'll talk whatever the hell. All right, guys. Love you. Talk to you later.